You watch it? Like, did you watch the Grammys this weekend?
No.
Why not?
I'm not a big fan of the award shows anyway.
Yeah, that's true. I think people just like watch it kind of like Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Where you just like get clips of it.
Yeah, it turns into just one of those social media things where something ridiculous happens and then everyone talks about it for weeks and weeks. Like kind of the Kanye thing.
Yeah, Kanye West did it again. That was hilarious.
Yeah, someone was saying how the Grammy should just be called the yearly Kanye incident or something. Because it just becomes the Kanye show.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. I'm one of your hosts, Felix, and with me is the best beard in the business, Kyle Karpish.
Hey.
And also with us today is the executive of HR for BASA, Bill. I actually don't know what your last name is.
Malinky, yeah. Or you can call me William or Billy or Willie or whatever you want.
I'll call you Willoughby.
Sounds good.
Willoughby.
Willoughby checking in.
And so now this is our first episode of our BASA podcast.
First episode.
Yes.
Super excited. Hopefully this goes on forever.
One of the reasons why we wanted to have a podcast for BASA is that we wanted to have a new avenue of spreading out information, especially from our events, and just like giving a venues where people can get to know the personalities inside our faculty.
Exactly. Before we get too on, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Kyle. I've been a student at University of Winnipeg for 4 years. I studied marketing, and I am Vice President Internal Elect. So in the next semester, you're going to see me working the internals for BASA.
Okay. Bill, give us the elevator pitch for Willoughby.
Well, my name is Willoughby. I've been a student here at U of W for about 3 years. I'm completing a Human Resources and Organizational Behavior Concentration BBA over at the Buhler Center there. And I've loved every little bit of the U of W. I am the Executive of Human Resources on BASA. So basically I handle things from the internal side of BASA, hiring, firing, overseeing positions, that sort of thing, all the behind the scenes type stuff, as well as I do put on a lot of content for some of our media items such as Shout magazine, and here I am on the podcast.
Okay, we're going to talk into more detail on what your position entails, especially for the next executive of HR. I'm going to introduce myself as well. My name is Felix. I've been in here in University of Winnipeg probably for 3 years now.
Some people might know you as Flex.
Yes, that's true. Some people might know me as Flex. A lot of my friends know me as Flex. The story of that, we'll probably share it on another episode. But me and Kyle decided to do this podcast, especially since we just got elected as the senior executives of BASA. And we wanted to have a way of talking to the outgoing executives, just so that those who are going to be applying for the positions have some knowledge of what the position is, like what you guys did, some things that they should know that it's not really a part of the job description. It's like, especially for HR, yes, a lot of like intricacies that comes with that. So we're going to move on to the BASA events that we're going to have in the next couple of weeks.
Cool. So we have a couple events we want to talk about. Get a Job will be the first one, and later on Jack will come and talk about Membership Lunch. Get a Job is essentially a speed interview kind of event. We have a bunch of corporate sponsors that come on down. Basically, it's quick, right? You go to one sponsor, you get interviewed, you go to the next one, you get interviewed again. And right before that, we have a bit of a seminar. Our guest speaker for our seminar is Lisa Marie. She is a corporate recruiter for U of W, which is super exciting. It's always a great event. It's always super popular. The room always fills up.
Speaking of somebody who's part of the corporate relations team, companies really love these kinds of networking events that BASA throws, like Get a Job conference. Networking Day was a great success.
Networking Day was great.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
How'd you guys find a networking day?
Oh, loved it. Like I sat next to Hydro and like James Sinnock. He was the Hydro representative. Just a great guy. Like he worked in human resources, I believed, and he gave us a lot of advice. He gave us recommendations on how, like, if we're going to apply for Hydro, what we should do. Like in like kind of like career paths he can take to make it easier to get a hydro, and like just things like that. Like it was really great, and like it was just fun too. Like it wasn't like all business, right? Like he's a human being, obviously.
Bill, which company were you sitting with?
I was sitting with CPA with Michael Badaggio and Lisa, I believe, and they were awesome. They're basically just promoters and recruiters of the CPA certification here in Manitoba, as well as I think they traveled to Victoria with the JDC West
They
team.
did.
They went all the way to Victoria, which is really exciting. We had lots to talk about, from the certification to what our favorite chocolate bars were. And
That's awesome.
yeah, I got to know them really well, and got some business cards. Everything worked out great, and most importantly, the food was amazing.
Food was amazing.
The tickets were only $30, but it got you like a full meal deal, from entrees to appetizers.
It's like a 4-course meal, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the dessert was amazing. Salad was amazing. Like,
soup, salad, stuffed chicken, and then dessert and coffee.
Yeah, not to mention we were up in the penthouse in the Winnipeg Art Gallery, which is actually very beautiful. I'd never been up there before, and you get a great view of the city. And plus, we had a lot of great speakers from the Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries, and learned a lot and made a lot of friends.
Absolutely. So going back to the Get a Job conference, can you tell us what the participants should be expecting to?
It is a formal event, so you don't have to dress, suit and tie, suit jacket. Just dress in something nice, something like if you are going to an interview, obviously.
So suit and tie.
Yeah, so suit. Actually, yeah,
it's up to you.
Suit and tie, whatever you feel is right. So suit and tie.
I think at least like something with a collar, probably like a sports jacket.
Depends how serious you want to take it.
Yeah.
Which obviously in a real job setting you would want to take it very seriously. So that's up to you.
For sure. Yeah. So it's February 26th. And it's in 3BC 57, the Buhler Center, and then speed interviews will be taken to 3BC 58, so right next door. It's not really all day. It's only a couple hours. We're still working out when during the day it'll be. But yeah, stay tuned with BASA Facebook page or Twitter, and we'll get those times up pretty fast.
Another thing that everybody should look up in our BASA page is that we've just elected our senior executives.
Yes, we have. Yes.
So I'll just run through the names of who actually got elected.
Who's the president?
Oh, who's the president? So yes, Felix is the president-elect for this year. Kyle Karpish won VP of Internals.
Yes, it was actually a contested spot with Jack Walker.
Who's going to be here a little bit later.
Yeah, excellent man. The people's vote.
He has a couple more years left.
Honestly, totally. Like Jack is a great guy, and like I totally see him going through BASA like for the rest of these years. Like, maybe he'll be a future president.
He's very passionate.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be far-fetched to see him as like a president in a couple of years.
He's young, upcoming BASA talent.
Yes. It's very rare for like BASA to have like a good second-year, first-year student. So it's good to see that we have like somebody like Jack who has a couple more years left in him.
Oh yeah, because also the senior executive team is normally exclusively recruited within somebody who's already been in a BASA executive position before, or at least a director. So that's why it's made sure that our higher ups are fully aware of what BASA does and how they operate, so that we don't have people coming in who don't know exactly, and they don't transform the organization into something that it isn't.
Absolutely. I'll just run through the other names. We have Marco Kreller for VP of Corporate Relations. Marie-Pierre Racine, I don't know if that's how you pronounce her name, but I'm going to go with that. She's going to be our VP External. And who am I losing? Oh, Jordan Sobey, of course.
Jordan Sobey
as our VP of Finance.
My boy Jordan,
All right.
Actually, interesting too, because all of them at some point or other in their academic career were part of JC West.
Yes.
So that was actually pretty cool.
That should be a topic for one of our future episodes.
Yeah, totally.
So now we'll move on to our news of the week. Kyle, why don't you walk us through it?
Well, today we're going to talk about the CRTC and the Super Bowl. You might have heard of it. Well, so the CRTC, they just the other week actually, they made a ruling that they're going to allow American ads in the Canadian broadcast of the Super Bowl. Obviously, there's some broadcasters that aren't too pleased with that. Bell has just publicly announced that they are against this and they're going to work to reverse it. So what they've done is at the end of the 2016 season, so at the start of the 2017 season, they're going to allow American ads for the Super Bowl. Yeah. And, you know, honestly, I can see why they're doing that. Like, you always hear on the internet how, like, the advertisements are, like, you know, so great, you know, like, you know, companies spend millions of dollars just to, like, get a spot, let alone build this awesome, like, commercial. And, like, I kind of see it as part of the package, right? So, and you know, like all the advertisers too, it's not like it's like America only usually, but
it's
like
usually like
usually it's like you know, international brands.
There's a lot of diversity when it comes to Canadian Super Bowl ads, usually about cars.
Oh yeah,
it's not as fun to watch as like the American Super Bowl ads.
Yeah, like all of the advertisements in the Canadian broadcast were just like cars and things like that. And like, don't get me wrong, like I like, you know, cars and whatever, but like it's just like 10 of those and like one about insurance or something like that.
Did they talk about like where the ad revenue is going to?
It's going to stick within America, which is probably like the strongest point for Bell against it, because you know it's essentially international, you know, like broadcasting, just taking Canadian, you know, money, right? Like all of these international companies just broadcasting, and we're just throwing our money away to across the border, right? So that's really Bell's argument for it. You know, keep the money within Canada. And even Kevin O'Leary actually made a comment publicly saying mostly the same thing.
Yeah, I was reading a news article in Business News Network, and they were talking about that local Canadian TV distributors might lose around like 200 to 400 billion. Is that is the prospect of us watching American ads worth that much?
Well, you know, there's always both sides of the coin, right? And like, yeah, it's really tough to say. I mean, in the end, like the consumer is still going to, you know, want the products they want, right? So while we might lose money on that regard, like, you know, maybe Canadian companies have to be more competitive, right? Like on an international level, like you have to expect to play, you know, on the same kind of playing field, right? Can't make your own playing field. That's my opinion on it.
I think this year it costs around 4.5 million for a 30-second ad.
Yeah.
How does one even go about getting a Super Bowl ad? Do they have to bid on it, or is there a waiting list? Or
I think it is a bid. I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure if it's directly towards NFL that you bid on, or you bid on the network that's currently distributing it that year, because it changes every year. Like this year was NBC.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who's gonna. I think it's gonna be a different network. That's going
so
to be
there's probably like a standard they set, and then whoever's up to it gets a spot, and then
if I was a betting man, I would say that it's like directly to NFL.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, probably.
They probably have the final say. Yeah.
It probably costs a lot because besides 4.5 million, that doesn't include production costs.
Oh, exactly. Like you're making this commercial just for this one event. But I mean, like it's like every single American is going to watch it pretty much. Like I think they said like around 200 million like Americans watch it. Like that's like 2/3 of their population.
Yeah. And Canada is most likely their secondary market there, because I'm sure it's not broadcast too openly in Europe or anywhere. So it is North America Central. Yeah.
You know, when I was watching it in the Philippines, the Super Bowl, the previous Super Bowls, they didn't really. I don't remember like seeing any ads, any American ads.
No.
Yeah, I think it was pay-per-view, so like that may be a part of it.
Oh, really? It's pay-per-view in the Philippines?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
It is. It's kind of like, I don't know, kind of like a boxing thing where like you pay for it in advance.
So. Okay, kind of like UFC or something.
Like
boxing. Yeah. Is it in Filipino? Like or Tagalog? I think it's called.
Language. Yeah, it's like Filipino or Tagalog. It's the same thing. No, it's broadcast like the way you would have it here, but you won't get the ads.
Okay.
As far as I remember, like I haven't seen a Super Bowl in the Philippines for like 4 years. So.
Definitely an event. Bring the whole family.
All right, we'll be back with Jack Walker, and we're going to talk to him about his position as executive of communication.
Excellent.
And now we're back, Kyle.
Hello, Felix.
And now we have here our special guest, Jack Walker. Jack Walker is the executive of communications, all right? Yes, executive of communications. One of the reasons why we have Jack here right now is because we want the incoming executives, which is me and Kyle, to have kind of like a short conversation with the outgoing executives. So, Jack, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I guess about me personally, or about me like BASA related?
About yourself, I guess.
Yeah, talk about yourself.
I guess I like the Bruins a lot. My favorite hockey team.
Go Boston.
Oddly enough, it has a B on the front jersey, so I'm also representing BASA.
I'm actually surprised you're not wearing a Boston jersey right now.
I know, me too. Actually, I was thinking about it this morning. But yeah, I guess I'll jump into what I do with BASA. Mainly, I was director of communications for this past year. As the year went on, I kind of got more responsibilities, mainly with mentorship lunch, something that's a big thing I'm doing right now. Before that, I did a lot of I did the database management for BASA. I kind of put in the emails and people's names for a database so we can get the news out to you guys as students. I got the Facebook survey for one of our first editions of SHOUT this year.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to continue some work with that going forward. And yeah, like I said, mainly the big thing is mentorship lunch. I'm the coordinator for it currently. Terry Lee, the past executive, he left that to me for the second half of the year. So I've been working with that, diligently trying to set up some lunches and with our sponsors. And so far it's been a little slow, but we're going to try to improve it going forward. So.
Well, is this your first year in BASA?
Yes, it is actually.
How was the interview process when you decided to apply for the position?
It was easy. It was really easy going, honestly. Like I walked in, everyone was really friendly. It was just kind of a good environment to be in right away. And at the time, I got into BASA because I knew Jason and I knew Nicole from one of my other friends. And I already had a little bit of experience, but again, like most of BASA, I didn't know. Like I had no idea who Vanessa or David or any of these people were. Sure. And when they were giving me these interview questions, it was like, okay, I can love these people pretty well. It was very, very personal, very friendly environment to be in. So
cool. So Kyle, do you have any other questions?
Oh, you mentioned mentorship lunches. To someone who doesn't know who that is, can you describe it?
Sure. So the way the mentorship lunch program works is you send off an email to me. We have like kind of a sign up process. You send an email to me with your resume. From there, I would send an email back giving you a series of questions. Once those questions, like you answer the series of questions, I can set you up with a one-on-one lunch with one of our sponsors. The sponsors send us they send us like a thing of preferences essentially for each student they're looking for. So you can guarantee that when you send back those responses, I'll match you with the sponsor that's just right for you. Currently we have a lot of openings for Comtech, one of our main sponsors. You get to go have lunch with Dan, the CEO there. He's a great guy.
Old Dan Misko, yeah.
Exactly. He's a great guy.
A legend in the Business Student Association.
Yeah, definitely. No, he's a pleasure to work with, and we're always trying to look for new lunches for him and to take in more people. So basically, it's a one-on-one lunch. It's almost like an interview, but it's not with that formal setting. Okay. It's very personal. So. It's a perfect opportunity to go and meet a sponsor who could be giving you a job in the next 1 to 2 years, or even more if you're in your first year. I mean, we take first years too. So if you're looking for those future goals, I definitely recommend signing up.
How's the student feedback been with the mentorship lunches?
Fairly good so far. Again, this year I'm just taking over from Terry Lee. He told me the program was going okay, but we're still looking to try and improve it. Still looking to try and bring more students into it. Generating interest has been kind of a bigger concern with the program so far. Really trying to get students to sign up and go. But to my understanding, it's a good program. It's a light program. I think if we get more people in it, we'll be able to get some more positive feedback.
Okay. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, at minimum, you're going to get free lunch and great advice.
Exactly.
Exactly. Even if you don't get a job or anything like that, you're going to get so much more advice from our representatives. It's totally worth it.
For
it's
sure.
Free.
Just go. The whole saying around is who doesn't want the free lunch, right?
Yeah.
But you get so much more, and I think that's really what's the key big part of the lunch is just getting all that other
Oh yeah. Where do you usually go for lunch? Like typically?
Usually, Garbanzo's is our preference because we've got a good working relationship with them.
Oh, yeah, close by.
So Garbanzo's and also Stella's.
Okay.
Stella's is another place we like to go, but we're willing to take if the sponsor or the student have a specific preference for lunch. We're willing to try and take that in and trying to work that in. But we do mainly recommend Garbanzo's or Stella's just for the just because we have a good relationship with them with the lunch program, and we can. It makes things a lot easier logistics wise on both sides, just getting everyone together and organizing it. So.
Oh yeah, exactly. So usually, when do interviews happen? Is it just throughout the year, or is it the end of the year?
For the lunch program?
Yes.
Usually I'll send them, like, once we get back the questions, like it was an interview process with Terry, but the questions, once I send them back, it's now just it's a feedback, sort of like a sheet.
Okay.
I realized that the interview process that Terry Lee was going through might be a little more pressure on students, a little more, just a bit more than people might handle. People have busy schedules, exams, everything like that. So I changed it more to a question sheet you fill out, you give me your preferences. It's the same questions as the interview. Just answers as justly and as honestly as you can, and then I'll set you up. I think it's a lot easier on the students, just so that they don't have to work an interview in their schedule and then work this in their schedule for the program. They just get their lunch right away with the sponsor that they're most qualified to be with. So.
Okay, great, awesome.
Now that the year's almost about to end, I guess it's safe to say that you're coming back to BASA next year. Like, what are your plans that you see that you want to implement for next year?
Next year, probably improving on the mentorship lunch program for sure. I'd like to maybe discuss with the internal team. I'm going to try and reapply for the internal team again. So I'd like to discuss with the internal team to get some feedback on what we can do to improve it, maybe improve the efficiency of it. Like I said, removing the interview process, I think makes it a lot more of an efficient matching. Like you get matched with the sponsor that much quicker if you don't have that, scheduling interview and then going to the interview and getting all this feedback. It's a lot getting lunches off to sponsors, getting students to the sponsors, because that's the end goal, right? Like we want to get students to meet these sponsors, and I think if we can really find a way to improve the efficiency and improve the interest also of getting students interested in the program, that's going to be two big improvements. Sure. I don't have any specific ideas at the moment, but then it's just probably corresponding after events is going to be a big one that I'm implementing right now. But as we go forward, I'll probably brainstorm a few more with the team and keep going from there.
Are you gunning for the same position as what you have today?
I'm going to try and apply for executive, but I'm willing to take whatever position, really. I mean, as long as I'm a part of BASA and I'm helping people, I'm happy.
Very excellent.
Yeah, probably with your experience, it's probably going to be a safe bet that you're going to be part of BASA again next year.
Oh yeah, no. Like any experience in BASA, like as long as like you weren't a jerk or anything, you're pretty much guaranteed to come back.
Fair enough. Yeah, I just hope my Bruins bias doesn't play against me there.
All right.
You'll be considered.
All right. All right. Thanks for coming today, Jack. I hope you had a good day.
Well, thank you very much,
Thank you, Jack. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
And now we're back again. Hope you enjoyed our interview with Jack Walker, our executive communications. And now we have Bill. Bill's back. And now we're going to talk about Bill. It's our magic green screen thing.
Yeah, actually, Jack is just right behind him writing.
Jack's out, Willoughby's in.
We had the people who did Avatar to kind of paint you out, so people don't see you during that interview. And so now we're going to talk to Bill about his position as executive HR in BASA. So Bill, give us the short pitch of what you do in BASA, what your everyday looks like in the BASA office.
Well, when I'm on duty, or at least in the BASA office, I'm usually just it's hard to say, but I just make sure that the BASA environment and the internal environment is functioning in a efficient manner, and that, I mean, first and foremost, that all the positions are being met and filled, and everyone's basically doing what's in their job description. The main problem, or I also deal with problems that arise, such as we had some people resign due to personal commitments. We've been looking to fill certain positions. Certain positions might be phasing out people who might not have much to do. Whether we need more directors in a certain area or less, or people transferring from internal to external, that sort of thing. Just making sure that everyone is happy and functioning as a team.
Okay. For the people who are going to be applying for your position, what advice can you give to them?
The best advice I can give is to make sure you're going into it with an open mind and a very, very neutral attitude, because you can't really play favorites, especially within BASA. I mean, we're all friends. It's not like we're being paid to be here either.
I was just gonna say, I thought you were my favorite.
Yeah, exactly. I can't play favorites, but I can't. But just can't, Kyle. But yeah, your best tool in being in an environment like BASA is to just make sure that you're treating every situation as if you were an observer, rather than, oh, I'm Kyle's buddy, or I'm Felix's brother. Like, you can't give anyone any special treatment.
Just gotta put that aside.
You gotta put everything aside. You can't be thinking, oh well, I want so and so to have extra help, say working on the magazine, which is actually something I do. Or
explain the Shout magazine, because I mean that's a bit of a process, right?
Yeah. We have our Shout magazine. If you haven't seen it, it's all over Buhler Center, and I think we even distribute it in the main campus as well. It's basically a business magazine created by us. It's usually created throughout the internal team, but we do accept content from anyone within the faculty. We have articles written by profs, students, other BASA members, our sponsors such as like CPA, Comtech, Hydro. Like we accept content from them. In the recent one, we even had our Boston Pizza promotion where students receive 15%.
Yeah,
off.
that sounds right.
Yeah,
Deadly.
Yeah, so that's something worth it. We had a few cool Sudokus in there. Some information about new upcoming classes. In our next issue, we're going to have some information about what it means to be on the UW JDC West team, as well as that's about all I can think of right now. But it's a big collection of relevant information for business students, and basically, it's not just even business students. Like, it's interesting for any student to read. I believe it's not just geared around business students, but it's primarily marketed for them. So.
This morning I was in Comtech talking to Dan Misko, because I was taking photos of him, and I was asking him about like what he thought of Shout magazine and whether he would be down for just having it like a digital format of it. And he said that he really liked having a hard copy, especially from his like a corporate partner side. Like he just like having it around his lobby, like people can see it, people can ask about it. So yeah, like Shout magazine has been in. Like, I don't know how long it's been with the BASA.
Since like day one of BASA,
yeah,
right?
I believe so, yeah.
I think BASA's like 7 years old, I'm pretty sure now.
I believe that like there's a poster in our office.
Yeah,
I think
the
that's
very first issue, yeah. It's usually, the front cover is usually typically a picture of the Buhler Center. This year it's a nice flower arrangement.
Yeah, we tried to go with just something more eye-catchy this year. We thought that, we have a beautiful Buhler Center building, but
you can only take a picture of it so many times.
Yeah, you can only take so many pictures of it. I mean, even for the, I was in charge of putting out the business students' agenda this year too, and I even tried to shake that up and take a picture of the inside of the building for once for the cover. But we thought we'd just try and get something eye-catching and hopefully get the magazine in the hands of more students, and that's our goal here. So.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
If you had one more year, like what kind of like improvements or changes that you want to see in your position, or like more in the internal side of BASA?
I think that the way my position is executed was pretty good. The one big suggestion that I would have is that maybe my position would be hired ahead of time to the other directors. Like I feel like all the executive positions should be filled before the director positions, because the executive team should be functioning as a team, and in order to pick people who are compatible with those people, I feel like they should be involved in the interview process. When last year everyone was hired as one big batch, so it was directors, executives, everyone was being interviewed, and positions were being filled all together. Yeah. So this way, teams were kind of like, it was just you get what you get. There wasn't any sort of option to see who fits better where, that sort of thing, or who works better with who. And that's one thing I'd like to see that could change.
And I think for the interviews, I think it would be nice to have somebody who's more concentrated on the HR side of the interviews.
Yeah.
Sitting in.
Yeah, that way things are just as concise and relevant as possible.
And you can also avoid like something that might be construed as insensitive, I guess. Because like you can never tell because like you've been interviewing people for like hours. You say something.
Yeah, exactly. Someone to like mediate the process. I mean, because we have next year we're going to have 5 senior executive roles too. So it's going to be quite the panel people are interviewing on, and it'd be nice to have somebody maybe like a human resources executive kind of mediating the panel rather than just having everyone sitting there speedballing questions off the person. So because it can be kind of intimidating. So
absolutely. Well, thank you for coming today, Bill.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you, Bill. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah. So if you're listening with us through YouTube, like and subscribe us. If you're listening through iTunes, subscribe and rate. You can find us at facebook.com/TWBASA. We also have like a Twitter account at UWBASA. And if you have any questions or stuff you want to ask to our hosts, you can email us at basapodcast@gmail.com.
basapodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
Honestly, we're always looking for content, so if you have something to talk about, feel free to throw it our way.
And if you think you're very interesting and you're in the business and economics faculty, hit us an email. We can also have you on the show. All right.
Great. See you next time.